Welcome back to the health tip of the week. This week we are talking all about posture. It is something that everybody thinks about on, if not a daily basis, a pretty regular basis, maybe a weekly basis, and nobody wants to be that person who's hunched over with the hunchback or slouched over and not able to kind of turn or move their head and their neck. And so I'm going to give you 3 tips to having better posture. That's going to include stretches and exercises to improve your posture in as little as 5 minutes a day. So here we go. Tip number 1 is the doorway stretch. What oftentimes happens when people are hunched over the computer or looking down at their phones is their shoulders start to roll forward, and that creates this tightness and shortening of the pec muscles and the anterior shoulder muscles called the deltoids. And so what we have to do is stretch this first area. Without stretching the area, you're not going to be able to bring your shoulders back and improve your posture. So first, we have to stretch the front. And the best way to do that is the doorway stretch. You can do 2 arms at one time, but I really prefer to do 1 arm at a time, because if you put 1 arm in the doorway at 90-degree angles, 45-degree angles, whatever that is, I think it's a 90, go in the doorway and you're going to step forward with whatever arm is in the doorway. You're going to step forward into the doorway with that arm. And when you're holding and kind of pushing this forward, you're going to feel this stretch, this area right here, the anterior pec muscles and the anterior shoulder muscles. Those are the muscles that you should feel the stretch. Always with stretching in this nature, you should hold it for 60 to 90 seconds. Just hold. If you're having a hard time doing it, you can take a break and relax a little bit. If you're feeling any kind of like numbness or pins and needles in your hands, that's totally normal. That's okay. Just kind of shake it out a little bit and then try it again. Always stretch both sides when you're doing this one. It really feels good to stretch. The next exercise is called the Theraband pull-aparts. And what you're going to do is grab a stretchy band that looks something like this. It could be a thin one, a thick one, a round one, a flat one. It doesn't really matter, because you're going for high repetitions. So you don't really need a super rigid and super strong thick band. You just need something that's going to create and provide a little bit of resistance. So what you're going to do, you're going to start with the band out in front of you with your arms kind of apart like this. Now you may have to play with this depending on the resistance of your band. Some people might have to go way in like this. Some people might have to go way out like this. It depends on the strength of your band. But what you want to do is with your arms out, when your elbows locked out straight, you're going to pull the band apart and squeeze your shoulders in the back. Hold it for a few seconds and then come back. And you're just going to repeat this exercise. You don't really have to hold it for a long time, maybe a second, maybe 3, and then just kind of repeat and do. And we're looking for high reps. I usually suggest anywhere from 25 to 50 repetitions, depending on where you're at in your posture correction journey, in your strength and exercise journey. Some people may have to start a little bit, maybe with 10 reps. Some people can do maybe 50 with no problem. It really depends on where you're at. And so again, you're going to grab the band, you can kind of pull it apart, and you want to bring your arms all the way back. So you're squeezing back here in between your shoulder blades and you're pulling your shoulders back. That's going to help strengthen the rear shoulder muscles called the rear deltoids, and then other muscles like the mid traps, the rhomboids, maybe a little bit of the levator scap. But those muscles are what's going to help to provide that kind of pulling your shoulders back to help improve your posture. The last one, we're going to do something to provide this kind of extension or retraction with our heads. And so part of the problem is not only our shoulders and the tightness here, but also our heads are kind of locked and stuck in this kind of forward position. So not only do we want to bring our shoulders back, we want to bring our head back as well. And so there are exercises and simple ones you can start with that are basically just getting the motion restored in your neck. And so in addition to your adjustments, of course, which is going to help to restore motion and mobility, you can do this flexion extension exercise. That one's on the home care prescription sheet, and that's also on our websites. And if you haven't seen that yet or don't know about those, all you need to do is basically shake your head yes and go 25 to 50 times shaking your head yes. A little bit more advanced is you can use a band like this. You can use your hands and just provide some kind of counter pressure, so you can bring your hands forward, almost like you're trying to pull your head down. And then what you do is create resistance with pulling your head back. So you're kind of fighting against yourself, and it's an isometric exercise. So I'm pulling my head forward with my hands, and my head with my neck, I'm trying to pull it backwards. A lot of people also do this one in the car against the headrest. When you're at a stoplight, not when you're driving, when you're at a stoplight, just push your head back against the headrest and hold for a few seconds and then relax. Do it maybe for 5 or 10 seconds each time and then relax. And you can repeat that one when you're at a stoplight. The last version of this, and we actually do this over on our vibration platforms, and if you haven't seen this, you can start doing this on the vibration platforms, or you can grab a band, something similar to this, and you can use it kind of like I was using my hands, but you can use it on the back of your head, and basically you're just pulling, kind of creating resistance, and then pulling backwards with your head. It's a little bit harder to do it with the band. They make other attachments, specifically posture ones for neck strengthening exercises. There's all kinds of stuff on Amazon. If you search neck strengthening exercises, you're going to see something like the iron neck or another band with like a big thick kind of area for your head. There's all kinds of devices. You don't really need to do anything fancy, especially if you're just starting out. If you're just starting out, do the basics. Do the doorway stretch, do the Theraband pull apart one, and then work on getting your head back either against the headrest or even just the exercises like I showed you there. That will help you to improve your posture. And I promise you, if you do those, even for just 5 minutes a day, you will improve your posture and you will be unrecognizable. And you won't be the person who just people comment, oh, stand up straight, pull your shoulders back, get your head back. I still have my mom in my head from when I was a kid doing this. She always used to harp on me for doing this. And now, after doing it for a long period of time and just repetitively, this is my natural posture. I don't really have to work at it. I do work at it, but it just becomes natural when you work at it. And for so long, even just repetitively doing it for 5 minutes a day, it will become natural to stand up straight with good posture. We'll see you on the next one.